In fact, if I were the president, I will give it back to them. You know, the arrogance of the North over this insecurity is annoying me, seriously. How do you blame the whole country for the problem you created? Where is this thing coming from? This insecurity. Who are the bandits, the terrorists? Where are they mostly from? Is it not from the North? Instead of the North to find a way to stop a problem they created, they are trying to use it to blackmail all of us. It's very sad, seriously. I don't see why the North should be making noise over this issue. The very problem they created. We were here when their leaders came out and told us how they brought it into Nigeria. And the North didn't deem it fit to say, we are sorry for what we have done. We are sorry for bringing this problem to Nigeria. Rather, they will keep blackmailing you and I as if we are the cause of the problem. And we did not find it fit to even give it back to them. The type of politics we play in the South, I don't like it seriously. Because if this thing we are coming from the South here, I know what the North would have done. I know what they would have done. Ordinary alcohol that Obi went to import. They said because he imported alcohol, that the Muslim North will not vote for him because they don't drink alcohol. Can you just imagine? But you that brought terrorism into Nigeria, and we have been suffering of this for 15 years now, you are not ashamed for what you have done. You are not even apologizing to us. Every time you be making noise, if you don't solve insecurity. Who created insecurity? When Jonathan wanted to stop it, it was this same you Northerners that was writing letter, writing everything. We want to kill the North. We want to do this. You are writing memo to international community. Why is it that the North always use this security to blackmail all of us? And nobody can give it back to them from the South here. Who brought this problem into Nigeria? Is it not the North? Is it not the North, for God's sake? Why are we not calling a spade here?
Okay.
Let them stop that thing, please. It annoys me. Let them stop it. Let them face their leaders over there. Let them face their leaders and stop insulting our intelligence. Why should they be talking like that?
All right then. Comrade Destiny and Abulele, let's get your thoughts on this one as well.
You know, now we are surrounded with problems. Insecurity is worsening day by day. It's worsening day by day, insecurity. And the way the whole thing is going on, I don't even think we are getting out of it anytime soon. Because if this is what we have done so far, is what we are going to do to solve the problem, to make sure this insecurity crisis is over, that means we are still very far from solving the problem. Yes, we are still very far from solving the problem, because this brain game that the president is blaming this, the president is blaming that. Yes, we know the problem. That's why you are a president, to solve the problem, to make drastic decisions, take drastic actions to make sure the problems are be solved. But unlike the governor of Edo State, what that one was saying, brain game, trying to contradicting himself, is the same thing. Because the president said everything starts on his table. You have to take the responsibility and solve the problem, despite the region causing the problem. That's why you are a president. And we all know the region, the problem, where the problem is coming from. The Northerners should accept their mistake. The problem of this country should be bring to the Northerners, yes, to the Northern leaders. Whether they want to, they are Fulanis, whatever, they are Northerners, they are the problem of this country. They should first of all accept their mistakes, and so that we can have peace and have solutions, find solutions to the problem. Do you understand? So if these people, you say you are looking for solutions, if they are not being able to contribute, provide solutions to the problem they created, that means he is very, I don't know, because they are the creator of this problem. That's what I always say. They are not being able to provide the solutions to the problem. So how do you think, or when do you expect that they are going to have a change of mind to start solving the problem that they created? They cannot be a solutions to the problem they created. I said that many times. They cannot be a part of a solutions to the problem they created. And this problem they created is giving them what they wanted. Reasons of them creating this problem is giving them, or it has given them what they wanted. So now that we now realize that, okay, this thing is not good for the country, we have to solve the problem heads up, once and for us. And that's why the president is there. Now that we have a president who is not a Northerner, who should not buy or listen to these people, that's when now we have a Southern president that should have focused on solving the problem, to dismantle this insecurity, or these people, to break their wings, so that they can give peace to his administration. If at all you want to come back, what you're doing or what you've done in these 4 years should speak for you. But now you are weak. They say your hands are tied up. I don't know who ties your hand. Now they said you are not in charge of the government. I don't know who is in charge of the government. The same people who created the problem, they are still in charge of the government, now helping you to look for solutions to the problem that they created. There is no way around it. So there's no solutions around these people. That's what I'm saying. And Tinubu is also part of the problem because he knows a lot about this insecurity going on in the country. But because he does not want to offend anybody politically, he does not want to step on anybody's toe because he wants to win the election in 2027, he becomes a problem on his own. If Tinubu is not interested in 2027, let's focus in this administration 4 years. Let's see how we can dismantle this insecurity, smoke these people out wherever they belong. It would have been better. Then you see, whatever you are doing, you are not interested in 2027, whether anybody vote for you or not. But because of that, everything is politics, it becomes a problem. So now take your time, listen to this video, we'll come back and talk about it. Don't forget, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.
And I understand that we have Prince Nixon Akwana joining the conversation. Okay, well, let's take your reaction to this, and then we'll talk about insecurity. I would like us to touch on the involvement of France and the foiled coup that took place in Benin, and all of this. But first, let's talk about the insecurity in Nigeria, the position of Arewa Youth Consultative Forum, and should the president be bothered about any of these? And then we'll talk about other insecurity issues. Go ahead, please.
Let me appreciate the platform and Okoro and my dear sister Fina for yet another opportunity, at least, to be part of this discourse this morning, because there's a saying in my very rich language that when a hawk is trying to catch the small chicken, the owner will join the mother hen to protect the small chicken. See, the problem is this. I align with Barrister totally, because over time I sympathize with the South very seriously. It's like we have mortgaged our rights to the North as a result of us, requesting for their votes. Hence, not becoming incommunicable. When we cannot confront. The only person before now that I'll be confronting them is the late this man from Delta State, from this local government. I've forgotten. I remember his name. That the brother is a professor. He was a minister during OBJ when OBJ was a military head of state. You see, the problem is this: we must situate it, squarely. They are traditional rulers. I don't want to mention any names. The Sokoto Caliphate and the likes and the many. What are they doing? We have had the calls when the president or those in authority want to wrestle this thing squarely. You hear them speaking from both sides of their mouth. And majority of them, of these religious or traditional rulers, they are one time military this, military that. And they cannot nip the insecurity in their domain. And it's quite sad because they know it is a tool for them to begin to wrestle the South to Koto or whatever language you want to use to their wants and caprices. For me, it's not right. I think they need to deploy or come up with another strategy of them, trying to force the South to perpetually remain subservient to them. Because this strategy now, with utmost humility, is no longer yielding the desired results. So for me, I want to appeal this morning.
Okay.
Because it's teaching time, saves time. I'm driving somewhere because we have had in this country that governors, but they said it, whether I'm not mistaken, that during the last election, he empowered terrorist bandits to force the electorate to vote for their party, APC. And nobody has raised dust, nobody has answered the question.
Okay, all right, comrade.
That's immunity.
All right, comrade, let me stay with you.
That this number 2 man, this president number 2 man, the then, the bandit head was discovered in his own apartment when it was a governor of Bonu.
Now, Comrade Nabulele, I want to ask you, you said you align your thoughts with that of Barrister Darlington, who said that, look, it is the North that created this problem, so they should solve it. But let us look at it from another angle. We also understand that we have foreigners, who have trooped into Nigeria, flooded Nigeria, and are part of the people causing this problem. Should it be the responsibility of the North or the responsibility of the commander-in-chief to solve this problem? If we agree that Nigeria is one entity, indissoluble, non-negotiable, separation not negotiable, should it be a matter of concern that, look, you cause the problem, you solve the problem, or should it be the government that goes out to solve the problem?
Mr. Kuro, I had an experience, myself and my wife, while we were away from Australia. I must be very frank with you. I think prior to the election, to 2023 election, we went to Ethiopia. My brother, when we got to Ethiopia, we spent over an hour, over 30 of 40. If you doubt, I will bring my wife to this studio in the next distance. The Ethiopian citizens, they entered the plane we entered from Ethiopia to Nigeria without a single passport. The only thing that was there was their ticket, their flight ticket. And when we got to Mohammed, in Abuja, they had to put them to one room and go and call one big oga to come and clear them to enter the Nigerian territory.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my question. Should it be
I was told.
Excuse me, Honorable. Should it be the northern traditional rulers that will stop that, or should it be the government?
You see, to be very frank with you, every crime is local. Every crime is local. I'm a student of diplomatic practice. For us to have this, very holistic reach in terms of wrestling, the traditional rulers of the religious leaders in our various domain must be at the forefront in addressing it. If you say you want to take our destiny of Ayemi and to Sokoto, I will not come back. That is the gospel truth. I will not come back alive. My cause will come back to Edo State. That is the gospel. If if it's a terrain that I'm used to, I should go there and do the thing, so I will come back with results.
All right.
I will victory. That's the point I'm dropping at this morning. The North must be sincere to themselves. The northern leaders
exactly.
must be sincere, must be willing to
Thank you.
That is the only way the federal government can win this fight. That's the only way the federal government can win this.
Thank you so much.
Right,
thank you, Comrade Enabulele, for your submission. Prince Nixon Okora, good morning and good to have you join today's conversation, if you can hear me. If you can hear me, one of the other things, or one of the issues that Shetima Irima raised as a concern was the high rate of unemployment and also the economic crisis that Nigeria has been faced with. And he mentioned rampant inflation and declining living standard of Nigerians, saying that if all those things are not being worked on 2027, that the election or the vote of the people will solely depend on this. Do you think that all this that he made mention of is enough reason to, more like vote against the number one man whom you have so much faith in and also trusted in? If we're talking about insecurity, recall that when the past administration were on board, yes, insecurity was there. But some Nigerians will still say that the standard of living was a bit better or fairer. The inflation wasn't a two-digit, but not the way it is at this point and all that. And also the standard of living and all that. Please, let's get your opinion. I would like you to unmute your device if you can hear me. I can hear you. Go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
For your question, you see, 2027. Let me first of all disagree with the president, the northern youth, and all that. 2027 election will not just be based on security; it should be based on deliverables by the president. And I appreciate the fact that the vice president, I guess because he's a serving vice president, understand that there are some kind of distortions, institutional distortions that have fueled this insecurity in the northern part of Nigeria. And these are part of the deliverable the president is doing. You can't totally curb insecurity in this situation without, first of all, solving a lot of our economic issues. And the president is delivering in so many ways. Let's come to think about this. Like other people said here, the mindset of everybody in the south presently, and even possibly some part of the north, recycling insecurity for politics must stop in Nigeria, especially in the north. When you look at the utterances, the biases, the arrogance coming from some strata of the social class in the northern part of the country, it simply tells all of us that these people are still arrogating some level of ownership of this Nigerian enterprise, which will never go down with anybody. If people keep saying that because the southern part of Nigeria, we are the ones that need a peaceful Nigeria, and the rest of the part of the country don't care about a peaceful Nigeria, then we must look at it all over again. The south can comfortably depend that live and exist or as the own country and nations of peace if the rest don't want to. I am saying this for the first time. The president is doing his best to curb and solve the problem of insecurity created by these monstrous politicians in this part of the country. If I say it because I'm an APC, I don't think it will cost me anything, but it's time to start calling the spade a spade by all of us to this matter of insecurity. The last time I was asking you, when will all this stop? It is painful every morning you wake up. You look at the TVs, the social medias, we are seeing gory videos and pictures of people's children, sons and daughters, future generations, as if that somebody purposely decide to give birth to children that have no value for life, just they can continue to use it as a political advantage, talk carelessly, upset the national tempo and the rest of it, or just because you want to keep power that you have not used for the gains of these people, any other person. So this is absurd. What I'm trying to say here is that the 2027 election will solely depend on the deliverables and the deliverables of the president.
Indeed. Nicely put. Now, but talking about taking advantage, political space, insecurity, and the rest, former governor of Kano State, Ganduje, has pushed for the recruitment of 12,000 personnel for Hisba. That's 12,000 more. And this is against what the current governor is doing. The current governor is saying, look, this will cause insecurity in the state. Could it be that the APC administration is plotting to destabilize Kano State? for its own gains come 2027?
Well, I don't see APC. APC presently, as heavily led by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, cannot create insecurity and miss its own core focus of trying to solve this insecurity. We have seen some holistic agenda. We have seen some sincerity of purpose from the party and the president. We see his body language determined to end this insecurity. But let me not forget that most cases, the North is like an entire entity of its own. Especially Kano State have long existed without almost federal control or the present control. You find out that this side of the country have some traditional and cultural leaning that particularly rule and control their moods, their politics, and everything. So it is wrong to, because a member of APC from the North called for certain positions and it becomes an APC idea. Okay. It is just for the internal administrative purposes and wherever they want.
Against the wishes of the governor who superintends in the state?
Yeah, one thing you must understand, that being the governor does not make you the arbiter of law and all that. You are still there because people want you to be there. So people's opinion must be considered.
But he's the chief security officer of that state. The governor is the chief security officer.
Exactly, but when the chief security officer probably has not fared well, when you look at what's going on in many states, that is why sometimes I'm angry with some institutions and CLOs and the rest of them. They keep talking about presidents. I
would like Barrister Darlington to react to that question when we come to him.
Okay, all right. Prince Nixon, good morning. Let me stay with you. Now, the guests here are agreed on the fact that, look, this problem is coming from the North. The insecurity is caused by Northerners. Whether they are Nigerians or not, but everything is coming from the North. Now, I'd like for you to, you said you also believe that, look, the North should solve the problem. They should be part of solving the problem. Between 2011 and 2015, we had a similar situation where insecurity, more like enveloped the North, parts of the North, especially the Northeast. At that point, the current president, the leader of your party, said, look, President Jonathan, the buck stops at your table. The president at that time, who was the national leader of your party, didn't blame the North, he blamed the president. Why is it convenient for you to blame the North now instead of asking the president to solve the problem? Because the buck stops at his table. What's the difference?
When there's something you're getting wrong. The president today has never for one day denied of taking responsibility. He has not even tried the blame game. Look at the way he does things. He's always accepting. He will tell you the situation is bad, but I apply for this job and I'm here to do it. So when you talk about blame game, yes, people have their own individual opinions and all that, and all of us understand actually, ideally, what the right things or doing things right would have been from the Northerners, because those people who
are please, exactly my point. You are still doing the blame game. You are not asking the president to take charge. You are not blaming the North.
President has taken charge. The president has sincerely taken charge.
Okay, to what extent? To what extent? Is this solving the problem?
I said something earlier on that there were some institutional distortions that needed to be fixed, and the president actually started with that. If you don't fix these distortions that has prevailed in Nigeria, it is difficult to fight insecurity. Remember, that was the first thing I said here. Okay. But coming to the part you are saying, the North, both the youth and the others have a very strong role to play in if they really want this to stop. That is where I stand. All right. If they really want the country to move forward, if they want the economy, if they want their security, they have a lot of role. Why the president consolidating with his own fixing the structural disruptions that have fueled this insecurity? They themselves should come out clean. They should come out open and be sincere to condemn some of these acts and be ready to work with the federal government. When you shield some of these people, we have seen them, they conduct every normal wedding parties in the northern part of the country. And when you look at what is going on in that part of it, if you look at the southeast, when we're having some level of insecurity, you'll be surprised that everybody came out to condemn it. Some people were going to their village themselves to organize a local vigilante and the rest of them to take out some of these.
Thank you very much, Nixon Okwara. Your point has been taken. But we'll come back and talk about insecurity. So please do stay, and I hope the network will allow this, because I've been seeing some glitches in the network there. But I bind it and I cast it away. And I know it to allow us to have this conversation to the fullest. But let's come back to the studio. Barrister Darlington. Now let's talk about the Hizbah recruitment. 12,000 of them. 12,000. Some of them were laid off by the governor. And now, Ganduje has pushed for the re-recruitment of these individuals. Let's talk about that. And then let's talk about that first.
Ganduje have no right to dictate to the governor how to run his states. He cannot even implement it himself. So he just made a statement. I don't think anybody will listen to him. In the first place, you are talking of state police. Is that not what everybody have agreed upon? So what is the Hizbah coming to do now? This same thing that is everybody saying they should remove it from our constitution, and you are now pushing for it to be included. You see, generally the North are not ready. I'm not joking.
Not ready for what?
Not
ready for
They
what?
are not ready to move this country forward. This religious sentiment is what they are after. Most of their leaders are fanatics and extremists. What is Hizbah? You are talking about state police and you are talking of Hizbah.
Boris, how can we take away Hizbah from the north, especially the states that practice Sharia law, where we know that it's been emboldened in the constitution for them to
That's what I'm saying. We're a secular state. Something should not come into national discussion. That's what I'm saying here. That Hizbah is your way of life, your traditional whatever.
Okay.
It shouldn't come into national discussion. In fact, we should not find it in our constitution.
All right,
that's why America is saying you should remove all those Sharia in our constitution.
Let's move away from
yes.
that. Let's talk about French government calling the president yesterday and giving its support to the fight against insecurity. And this came after Nigeria reacted to the coup attempts in Benin Republic. We saw fighter jets, went in there, even though they said they were called upon by the displaced government of Patrice, yes, in the country, and there were bombardments, to scare the mutineers and the rest of them. And some Nigerians are saying that President Tinubu was basically ordered to do that by Emmanuel Macron of France. And what do you make of that swift reaction to the coup, a neighboring country, without a corresponding swift reaction to insecurity, areas where insecurity has been holding sway in Nigeria?
That is the action of a local champion. When you see somebody you can beat in any tournament or in any fight, you seem to intimidate that person.
Well, ECOWAS has a standing force for things like this. Isn't it just
which ECOWAS? The one that has disintegrated or another one?
The same ECOWAS that we know of.
You say what? ECOWAS has disintegrated. Is that not a fact?
Barrister, how? What do you mean by ECOWAS?
When some people have walked away,
but that is not disintegration.
But the union is still there.
They are no longer together now.
No,
ECOWAS is no longer. Hold on. ECOWAS is no longer the one entity that Gowon created in 1975. They have gone their separate ways, so they are not together. That's the fact. And
some countries might have left ECOWAS, but ECOWAS is still ECOWAS.
No.
There are still some countries in ECOWAS.
No.
ECOWAS has not been.
What do you mean by no? ECOWAS is still there.
Look, when you are supposed to be a bloc speaking with one voice, and all of a sudden, out of that one bloc, some people are walked away.
But
you can no longer be
it's
one
still
bloc.
Speaking with one voice amongst its members.
Which members?
Those that have remained in ECOWAS.
Those are good. That means there is a dent. The wall have cracked.
So you say we should change the name ECOWAS now?
Yes, the wall have cracked because
some West African
yes,
states
because your member, the original members of that who are within that block, you are still within that environment too. If Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali they are in a different environment outside ECOWAS, fine. But they are still within ECOWAS. Their land is still there, and they have moved out of the block. So how can you say they are together?
So you think ECOWAS should not have reacted to the Benin incident?
Why didn't they react to that of Nigeria?
What happened in Nigeria?
What
happened?
When terrorists are taking over part of our land. When terrorists are taking part of Jos and Benue. Or is that not a fact?
Yeah, but we have always had a multinational joint task force.
Where are they? Where were they when this thing happened? And they are still there up to today. As I speak to you now, these terrorists have sacked people from Benue and Jos, and they are occupying their villages. Is that not a fact? So what is ECOWAS doing about it? No, why couldn't they use the same force and go and flush them out? Why didn't they use the same force and go and flush those people out? Meanwhile, the owners of the village are living in IDP camp.
But Barrister, what's your point now?
My point is that I will not celebrate anything here. I didn't see anything fantastic that anybody have done. They are doing it to save their own face. Because when Niger happened, the same thing method was about to be used. But some people from the north went and stood against it and said, no, those people there, they are our brothers, so they are cousins, so nobody should go and do anything there. Is that not what happened?
All right, Barrister, today we learned that, we're having a very big meeting, a crucial meeting between Nigeria and also the US. We're having a congressional delegation to talk about the security and the way forward of Nigeria today in Abuja. What do you think or perceive to be the outcome of that meeting? I
am beginning to be wary of these meetings and discussion with the US. This is not like Donald Trump. I'm beginning to think that they have hypnotized that man. This is not a Donald Trump that I used to know. Who will shoot before saying sorry?
What would you have wanted to say?
They would have taken action long ago because these terrorists are not. Yes. You said what? I don't think jihadists, yes. Because that's the only thing they understand. Can't you see that since this happened?
They are working. They have decided to work with the government of Nigeria. Hand in hand.
Look,
to solve the problem.
Moses,
Barrister,
whenever your property is missing and you are looking for it, don't include the man that stole it among the side party. You will never find it. That's the truth. Is it not the same government that was here? Dining and whining with terrorists that were holding meeting with them, that want to go and have a meeting with the US now? What do you think they are trying to do here? They want to water it down. They want to cool them down. They want to tell the US that they are collaborating, that meanwhile they are not ready. Inside their heart, they are looking for a way to water it down.
Okay. Okay, that's your summation.
Yes, to make Donald Trump look worthless and stupid, because what he tried to do, he can no longer do it. At the end of the day, this one will be mocking and say, look at, is that not the thought that he will come to power? Where is he now?
Anyway, well,
yes, that's what I think.
Your views, and Barrister, I understand that we have to let you go now. So would that be your concluding thoughts on this?
The meeting is too much. They have got a lot of meeting. I told you, when government don't want to do anything, if they start with a panel meeting, emissaries.
Okay.
At the end of the day, the whole thing will die down. You know where they are going.
All right then. Thank you very much, Barrister Darlington.
When terrorists want to hit us, they will meet.
Thank you for your time and your contribution. But we still have the other gentlemen. Fighter jets, went into the airspace, protect the border, and then scared away the mutineers in that coup. What are your reaction if you want to juxtapose that's a response to what we've been dealing with in Nigeria? What would you say? How would you sum it up? Well, I understand that your audio is not coming out, so if you can do something about it. All right. Well, if that has been fixed, then you may speak now. But we still can't hear you. We're having a problem with your audio. You might need to unmute your device if that's the problem, and so we can take your response. But if that has not been fixed, we might have to go to... Go ahead, please.
Okay. You see, Mr. Moses, as I said I try to be very careful. This is December with choice of words this morning, so that I can, have a Christmas and New Year with my family. Because of late, I've been getting some threats left, right, center. You see, I must be very frank. This government, as we currently have, whether it's national or in my state, they are a bunch of irresponsible men presiding over our collective patrimony without knowing what to do with it. I must be very frank. Perhaps you must have heard. Let me start from Edo State. Not too long ago, about yesterday, firstly, when the governor that was given to us by Bola Ahmed Tinubu said that the insecurity that is pervading the space of Nigeria was the same measure that was taken towards Jonathan to ensure that Jonathan was removed from office. But the question in the list of average Nigerians, who were the people that perpetrated, or perhaps that have this insecurity or banditry or terrorists to not be part of our political lexicon? It's not the same crop of people that are this crop of persons and party that are currently presiding over us as a people and as a country. So we all know where the problem is coming from. And they are not telling us the basic facts because they are not willing to nip it on the bud. We are passing through hell in this country without much humility. That's why I said I must try to be very careful this morning. We are passing through hell. Our people can no longer play our roles. People that are going for interview. I remember a friend of mine, I was going to for interview in Abuja. You have to call me to. I needed some. I said, my brother, that's a very good decision. I have to send him some little. I'm driving somewhere, sir. I have to send him some little money to enable him, get a ticket to Abuja to go do the interview. And that's how we have it. He has been given an appointment letter. Perhaps if I have not done that, you have maybe take the risk and decide to apply.
So now, do you think that the involvement of the U.S. and also the congressional delegation that held talk with the NSA yesterday in Abuja is going to yield any fruit? And also the involvement of Western, because recall that Nigeria has decided to seek for help from the Western world. We have France now also pledging to help Nigeria to fight insecurity. We have the UK, we have the US, more like forming all hands should be on deck to help Nigeria. Do you think it's going to yield any good fruit at all?
No, just as the barrister said just now, I'm no longer comfortable with this recent romance between the Nigerian government and the United States of America. For me, I'm taking my mind off. For me, I expected them to just leave this country, move. Just like what they did when one of their citizens was kidnapped in the northern part of this country. As we currently have, we shouldn't expect any fantastic results because the man in the helm of affairs, with the crop of person that is called travelers, they have a way of massaging the ego. They have a way of massaging the ego. And as I spoke before you, the United States government, they are confused. As I spoke before you, they don't even know what to do again. You can take this to the bank. This time next year, we'll be talking about this issue. A country that is playing with serious insecurity, the government at the center is busy campaigning for 2027. When we are not here in 2026. And you tell me that we are serious, and you are telling me that France is coming. We have to start doing all this while. When the president at every cough or Qatar is in France, is in Paris. And today, you now hear France is saying that they are willing because they have assisted, Nigeria has assisted them to foil the coup in the Benin Republic. Who is fully who? All right. Nigeria will go past this. We have made a reason before an action. Okay. So stop us. I can tell you what this time next year, what will happen in this country this time next year. That is the gospel truth. We are not willing as a people. And the bulk of the problem rests on the doorstep of the average Nigerians that are the electorate. All this hallelujah and praising Nigeria need to stop before we get out of this quagmire. We need to stop.
Thank you so
Nothing
much.
that is working in this country. Administratively, it's not working. Economically, it's not working. Security-wise, it's not working.
And that was why I asked again, you know, I could recall, comrade, I asked this question, I think, to Prince Nixon. Do you think that the Ariwa Consultative Forum, do you think of it? Do you think that they are right? Or is their call justifiable when they say that the 2027 election solely depends on the improvement of security and even the standard of living of Nigerians, the 2027 election? And can they even do anything about it, since most Nigerians are more like pointing fingers to the north to be the people or the faction that created the issue of insecurity?
Malafina, let me be very frank with you. They are just backing for recognition. We talk to I respect my local brothers, my local youths. I respect them. They are backing for recognition. This man that is currently presiding over us, he know how to dangle some cattle, some carrots. He know how to dangle some chicken. Then your senses to some extent will be long gone before you know it. He has achieved or perhaps perpetrated whatever he wants to do. See, the issue is this, and it's very simple. It is very simple. The Nigerians who currently have, I want to be very frank with you. No leader is willing, or I don't know the language to use this morning. That care about you and that care about Moses, that care about Okoro, that care about Sinner, that care about destiny. All they are after is the next election. It is the next election, not about you and I.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Let me know with this thought. If it were to be a country that is sincere, what would have expected the president and his co-travelers to at least, now that our roads are now kidnappers then and death traps as well right now, they should reach out to this FA to say, okay, you know, we are currently facing this. How can we reduce this FA for an average Nigerian? As I tell you, the FA from Benin to Abuja, from Lagos to Benin, I tell you, it is increasing every day. And the average man cannot afford it.
It might even get worse with the recent tax reform. Now, comrade Destiny, just so you know.
You know, the problem is, my worry is some of these Africa countries, military will still take over some Africa country because they are giving the citizens reason to call for alternative. Since the government, so-called democracy, has failed in Africa. So, if democracy has failed in some countries anyway, they have no choice because the leaders is giving them reasons for military to take over. If not, military wouldn't be calling to take over. Now, you witness this period now for the last 2 years. How many military has taken over different Africa countries? Nigeria happens, but it failed, thwarted. Just imagine if Nigeria has succeeded, even if they debunk, they deny, say it never happens. It happens, yeah, we know. Just imagine Nigeria has happened. All the democracy would have gone. But even now, we say we have a democracy, we have a civilian president. It's more like a military government because it's a dictatorship. We are under a dictatorship as a president who does not care, who does not listen. Because we could see what he has done over the last 2 years he assumed office. It doesn't look like we are still in order a democracy. Anyways, talking about the insecurity, it is a time the Northerners accept their responsibility, accept their mistakes, that they created this problem. They put this Nigeria into this mess Nigeria find themselves today, and it's very difficult to get out of it. The Northerners, they should accept their mistake. Whether you want to say the Fulanis, the Hausas, they are the same. Northerners, do you understand? They are the same. So they created this problem. Now, the thing is, you would have thought, knowing the problem of this country, knowing where the problem is from, people who are responsible for this problem, you would have thought by now the solution is already there. Because when you have a problem, the first thing you do is to look for the root cause of the problem. Then you deal with the causes of that problem from the root. So you cannot solve a problem from the top and leaving the bottom. It's not going to work. So now what we are doing, we are trying to solve the problem that these Northerners created. We are trying to solve it from the top and leaving the root causes of the problem. What are the root causes of the problem? Now we have insecurity. We have different groups, so-called different groups that are terrorizing the country. What is the agenda? This group of people do not even have agenda. When you talk about militants, then we know what they want. These different groups now, we don't know what they want. All we could say they want is they want Sharia law in Nigeria, which is not going to work. Nigeria is a secular country. But yet, Nigeria is a secular country. They are pushing hard to make sure they impose that on us, which is not going to work. It can only result to violence and turn Nigeria to like a Gaza or whichever country, Afghanistan. That's the only thing, because it's not going to work. Now, different groups come into this country to terrorize. We know people who are responsible, who the financiers are, the sponsors. When you now know these people, what do you do with them? You deal with them accordingly. They are not bigger than the law of the land. They are not bigger than the constitutions. Religion is not a must. Your Sharia law is all about He talks about ways of life, beliefs, and this and that. Religions have their own religion, have their own law, which is not even in constitution. We are not going to impose our beliefs on every Muslim. Likewise, the Muslims should not try to do that, to say they are superior than us. That's where the problem is now. So you are not going to tell, because we are not even one Nigeria. We already know this, that we are not one Nigeria. We could be a one nation. We could be a one country. We are not one nation, and we cannot be. A nation is when people living in the same geographical locations, they have the same way of life, beliefs, and everything, cultural, same, everything. You can call them one nation. But now, we are divided. We have different tribes, different cultures, and everything. Our beliefs, ways of life are different. From the onset, it's very different. So you cannot use Sharia law to bring all these things together. It cannot work. You cannot use Sharia law to change the culture from the south, from the southeast, and all those things, because you now impose or try to impose Sharia law on us. It's not going to work. It can only make this country worse. Now, these people now are the problem of the country. If the leaders of this country, they mean well for this country. If you take it back, the Northerners, during the days of the military, I think the military spent about 32 to 33 years in power before they returned the country back to civilian rule again, General Obasanjo. All the military that have had opportunity to rule this country, majority of them are all from the north, and they are all from Fulani. And now every Northerners you see, all the emirs you see in Northerners, different imam, whatever you call them, majority of them are Fulanis. Do you understand? They are Fulanis. These people do not believe in one Nigeria. So let give them their own space. Because the more we try to live together, the more we creating more problem for ourselves. I do not see one Nigeria working in this country. I do not see one Nigeria, one president working in this country. We can only try, walk around, see a competent person, put things in place, and see what comes out of it. Unlike before, the way we have been doing, managing, pushing forward until the era of APC, that everything collapses, that the country finds themselves in this mess, or because they want to take over power without any ideology. Now, these people are not the problem. If Mr. President now, because during this time when the military era from the Northerners, they are the majority, and the day of Buhari worsening the whole thing, it gives so much power to these people, to these Fulanis. It makes them understand that they are the owner of this country. And because of that, they want everything in their own way. To an extent that the Fulanis or the Hausas now believe that human being, a cow is now, the life of a cow is worth more than human being. Meanwhile, there is no amount of cows that are worth one life of human being. But now, that is their own belief. Somebody who have this mindset cannot live with people who have different agenda. It can't work. It can't work. Somebody who believes that cow should be given more respect than human being. Think about it. So, if these people have what it takes to solve the problem, they would have solved this problem over the years. The more opportunity they have to govern, the more opportunity they give to the Northerners to create more problems for the country without doing anything with it. They ended up creating this problem for every country, every region today, that this region is now facing day and night. Now they have already deposited all their member Fulanis to different forests in different places. Now these people now understand your terrain, your state. These people now understand the forest in your state more than you, the origin of your state. Do you understand? Because they gave it the opportunity to go everywhere with their cow, no boundary, nothing. Using that to creating more problems everywhere. So now we say we want to solve a problem. I was expecting that Tinubu, since you say you have a strategy, you are this, you are that, you are so blunt, rascal, whatever you want to put it, that now he has opportunity to dismantle this insecurity, to break their wings. These people from the north, I know he's destabilizing the political structure in the north, that they are now having different fashions in there. Security is what matters. So if Tinubu is ready, now you would have seen some actions. I was expecting, since he's not a northerner, that northerner, now you have the power, you can command. You can smoke these people out. These financiers, the list given to Buhari, couldn't do nothing with the list. Now another list is out again. You know them. Fish these people out. Now people are in your government. The mind you have to retire this According to constitution, it's every 2 years CDS should resign, whatever, and nobody has been able to do that. Some of them, you know, you did. Even that was because of the coup. You were scared. Using that's for your own protection, for your own personal interest, not for the Nigeria. You understand? So why would I tell you use the same energy to dismantle this insecurity, break these people, break their wings, because they can't do nothing. But because you are so because of this selfish interest, because of 2027 agenda. If Tinubu is not somebody who have this self-entitlement that it must be made, 2027, he want to rule, that is giving these people so much privileges, so much opportunity to do whatever they are doing. This would have been opportunity for Tinubu to dismantle these people, to make sure this insecurity stop. A cattle rearing, have law, different thing that is working, give command to different governors of his state. If you do this, we do that. If just like what they did in Ghana, if you do this, we do that. Give all the governors backing. Give command, make this command. Now, whatever you say is stand. But because of agenda, he doesn't want to do anything. Say his hand has been tied down. I don't know who tied his hand. We don't know who is the leader, who is in Aso Rock, who is the president or not. If Tinubu do not have interest in 2027, he is somebody who is not desperate to be in power. Just like he want to be the Pobia of Cameroon. If he's not that kind of person, he doesn't mind if he only rule for 4 years. So far, he have a result. The result will speak for you. If he's that kind of person, opportunity for him. Now, if he are serious, you would have thought, since over 1 month now, they started talking about Donald Trump intervention here and there. Have we seen any sign? The sign I wanted to see, those villages that these people have taken over. I wanted to see those people have been forced to leave the land, so that these original citizens of that land, they can return back to their ancestral land. Those people in IDP camp. That's what I wanted to see, the action. But this Donald Trump intervention, yet we are not seeing that action. We are still playing around the gallery, and we say the problem will solve themselves. And these people are not even relenting. Since this time, they are still bashing, they are still striking here and there, and the president is there watching. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's still there. We would have thought this one will make this insecurity die down for a while, if Donald Trump come or not, before these people will come. And again, I do not even support the Donald Trump military US intervention to collaborate with Nigeria military. No, it's not going to work. That one, just like Barrister Darlington said, Nigerians are working hard to water this down to make sure Donald Trump never even come. Or the only thing, they should give them is support, this and that. When it comes to intelligence that has to do with dealing with these people, Nigeria will not do it. Whenever you pass information, they tell the minister of this and is there. He had everything. So it's not going to work. Collaborating with them is not going to work. Is it that Donald Trump did not even intervene in this matter rather than collaborating with the Nigeria military or Nigeria security agencies? That one is a fail already. So that is just it too. So if Donald Trump want to come, let the government work their own, let the US military come and do their own intelligence work, so that we can put an end to this. And if Donald Trump failed to do this now, it will give opportunity, upper hand to these bandits, to the northerners again, to terrorize, to say, you guys don't have any option again. Donald Trump, okay, he failed. Now it is their turn. They will strike. They will strike. That is the fear. Now, what do you think? Please share this video and subscribe to this YouTube channel.